want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Clear sky.
G'day guys, here I am back again for my second attempt at a flight between Hanoi and Hong Kong in the MD-80. Last time things didn't go quite right, so I didn't have time to reload it and start again. So fingers crossed this time, no problems. Again, the livery in this particular case is Japan Air System, which is, I don't know if they're still around at the moment, but they used to be the third budget airline for Japan. JAL also were running, I think, MD-90s, like this one. Of course, the MD-80, which is we're using here, is it's not really an MD-90, so we just go with it anyway. Just another quick point, the airport here, Hanoi, which is AO code is Victor Victor November Bravo. Actually, it is freeware that you can get on the org. It's not that new, it's been around for quite a while, so might be missing some features, but it doesn't look too bad. I've got no static aircraft in this particular scenery, so not that I use it too often at Hanoi. But anyway, here we go. First off, let's get a few things up and running. Okay, we're going to have to put our power on. So position lights on. Emergency lights, no smoking. Whoop, down you come. Stay down. And that one. Donut, g'day, how are you? Thanks for joining in. Okay, I think what we might do is get ourselves the GPU.
Autopilot.
That's our GPU power. We've got to put our start pump on. Now before I start the APU, I'm going to do a few things outside. First off, we're going to well, just go outside. Unfortunately, the jet bridge doesn't work. I tried it through SAM, but it doesn't work. So What we'll do is we'll open the forward door, we'll open the aft door, put the rear stairs down here, here they come, and I'll open up the cargo doors. Okay. And what we'll also do is we'll bring some of our ground handling people over. Wrong button. Don't need that one. Try that again. Okay. I'll just move this out of the way for the moment. So they're bringing up the forward stairs for us. Of course, this aircraft is fitted with extendable stairs at the front, but Universal will do the job. There's our bus bringing our passengers. Okay, while they're doing that, we'll go back inside and we'll start up the APU. And while that's firing up, we'll get our fuel loaded. First off though, we go over here and it's going to be pounds. And using SimBrief, I've got fuel, block fuel 25986, enter. Our payload is 36800, and we're going to put our trip fuel in, and that is 12044. Okay, we're just under our maximum landing weight, so we're pretty right there. Let's just go back and see whether I can load this. Had problem last time, but let's see what happens. There we go, and we can expedite it. Okay, we're finished with that for a while. We've now got our GPU up and running. Wrong one. Our fuel pump's got to feed the APU. And we don't need the start pump anymore. Make sure that's off. And we don't need our external power anymore, so it can go off. And we can dismiss the GPU. Okay, I've got to set the altimeter now. First off though, we bring some, move him out of the way. We'll bring some lights onto the instruments and for the FMC. So altimeter setting, just bear with me, I'm going to go and check that out. Okay, according to NOAA weather, which I'm using at the moment, it's 1008. Automatically sets for the emergency backup and also for the first officer. Okay, we can set off our alignment. And while that's happening, we can go down here and fill in our FMC. It's Hanoi. And Hong Kong is Victor, Hotel, Hotel. Activate. Now we do have a company route which I'm going to use. I'd be here for another half hour filling all the waypoints in. Activated. Our flight number for JAS will be JAS Okay, before we fill in our perf in it, we've got to make sure all of the fuel has been loaded, which it should be. And I'd say our cargo's all been loaded, our passengers are already on board, so let's clear these guys away. And then what we can do is we can close cargo doors. We can bring up the rear stairs. Well, that was the rear stairs after. There we go. Up she comes. Now that stairway should clear away. There we go, and we can close the forward door. So everything's closed. Our fuel and cargo's all been loaded, so let's step back inside. We're finished with that. And now we should be able to fill in our weights. Reserve fuel in this case is going to be 3. Cost index will be 50. And we're going to be flying 310 flight level. Cruising window is going to be 072. 012. And the outside temperature is going to be minus 30 up there. Our transition height for Hanoi is 9,000 feet. That's looking good. Our outside temperature here, I'll just drop down this a bit, 24 degrees. And what we can do is we're going to flex today, so we'll go up here to the assumed temperature flex and we'll bump it up to say 45. And then what we've got to do is disarm the ART. Okay, back to our takeoff reference page. Next thing we've got to do is go over here, unlock this, get our chart for our MD-80 speed cards. Look back here again. It says our gross weight is 140 pounds. This will enable us to put our VREFs in. So closest to 140 pounds. 141. So we've got a VR, if we're going to use flaps 11, which we will, the VR 143, V2 149, 143, 149. And for V1 we take off 10 and that gives us 133. Okay, Right, now we can go on to departure. We're going to be using the 11 right, and our transition is going to be BUN. This is from SimBrief, of course. BUNB1B. There it is. We'll enter that. Let's go to our arrival. According to SimBrief again, our arrival will be into 07 right. That one. And our star should be Sierra 7C. That one down there. Execute it. Have a look at our legs. And we can go straight to Naka. Down the page. Got another disco here. We'll get rid of all our discos. We can check this out. Looks like our alignment's right. And can we do our steps? Go back to page 1. Going to be an interesting approach into Hong Kong. Looking pretty good. Okay, we're done. Alright, we've completed our FMC input, so we've done our assumed flex. Our speed bugs should all be in line now because we've executed it. What I might do though is get rid of these guys altogether because they do make a bit of noise. There, it's a bit quieter. You can hear our APU going. Right, HP Bleed now comes both to on. Galley comes on. Windshield anti-fog comes on. Anti-ice comes on. Our yaw damper can come on. We don't need our logo light, but we can do our radio Venturi fan. We can put this cabin temperature over to cabin. The cabin temperature is all set automatically anyway, so is the pressure. We hit the button down here for checking the fuel reset. Okay, our hydraulics now go to low. It's down here. One up. Transponder should be to standby. We'll leave the code there at the Squawker 2270. There's no ATC on around here. Okay, HP, we can also now put the, come back up here and put in our Apu Bleed. We turn off one of these. We go down and put our pneumatic crossfeed valves on. There they go. Now all our doors are closed, our throttle is in idle position. We can turn off the galley now because we're going to be starting up. And we'll put our pumps on now. We're probably going to be using our standby pumps, our center tank, sorry. There is some fuel in there, so we'll start off using that first so these can come on. Now both bleeds come off. We have to do air transfer pumps on. Our position and strobe lights come to on. We put on our anti-collision lights. And our transponder now goes to XPDR mode. Flight director on. They come on together. Our bank angle will set at 15. Our runway heading will be, just having a look, that'll be 109 degrees. And our altitude we said was flight level 310. So we'll go straight up to that, I'd say. There we go. And our speed out 250. Okay, we've got to set our fuel panel 0 fuel weight. So we'll do that down here. Okay, 0 fuel weight was 115.3. There we go, it'll reset. There we go. Okay, everything looking good outside. Black night. G'day, mate. I know it's probably a nice sunny morning in paradise and you haven't had breakfast. Well, I have, yeah. But a word of caution, the mic is not for eating. Oh, sorry. I'll just drop the mic a bit. Is that a bit better? I never get it right, do I, with that sound, with that mic sound? But anyway, okay, we're all ready for push and start. So we're going to basically pull back and bring our aircraft tail around to the left. I was just looking at the. Well, I should do this, shouldn't I? I've got Habitat, so I should use it. We don't need this anymore, so let's go back here. Go to the airport, and it's Victor Victor, November Bravo. Oh, where did that go? I turned the damn thing off. Ah, I must have hit something. Where are you? I know there's somewhere to push down here, but jeez. Habitat, where did you go? Oh, well, look, there's the one up here. Don't know what happened there. Okay, let's look at our airport. Parking stands, parking stand. Oh, that's the one. And while that's firing up, we'll see if we can see what our departure is. And it's Bun B1B, so it's going to be one of these. Let's see what he looks like first. Yeah, I think we're on that. We can keep that there anyway. Just have a quick look back here. So we're here. So we've got to travel up to. It's 11 right, 11 right. So tail's got to come back to the left. When we're up in the air, I'll find out what happened to Habitat. Okay, let's organise that. Better push back. Pretty straightforward, isn't it? Let's come out here. Hang a lefty. And give it a little bit of area to push back.
Round to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Well, let's go.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Right, now while we're doing that, we can fix our long trim. Menu, takeoff. So we've got a center of gravity of 9. Okay, so down here we go. And we set the center of gravity at 9. We're going to be using flaps 11. So our long trim's between 7 and 8, so we bring that down.
Stabilizer motion.
Yes, thanks Betty. Thanks for reminding.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
And we set our flap setting over here to 11. There we go. Okay, so we can go back in here and reset this to legs. And he's lifting us up.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake. Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
N1 is rising. Sorry, N2 rising. When they reaches 2021, we can open the valves. Bit slow on this aircraft compared to some of the others. Okay, now we can open our left fuel valve, and we shall hear things, the generator's clicking in. Bang, there we go, so we can start the next one. Be the right engine. Same dealio, we wait for the N2 to rise to 20. Meanwhile outside, nice and slow, isn't it? There we go. You can come up. And we'll hear the second engine generator, the right engine generators come in. Okay, now we can put the ignition off. We can bring out starters up to there. We can now turn our engine bleed off. We can turn our APU generators off. We can turn off the APU itself. We can put the galley back on. We can put our ice protection or pitot on. Our hydraulic pumps now.
Operation
off.
complete. Set
Fine.
parking brake.
Anything you say.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Come on, click down for me. There you go. They come back off. HP Bleed can come to auto on both of these. Alarm the speed brakes. A trim and that means we can do our flap setting. 1, 2. This goes to RTO and switch it on. So how's it sound, Black Knight? It's better now.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the left. We'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
Yeah, I just dropped the mic down a bit below my chin. I do have a sort of separate mic I use on a stand, but sometimes the sound quality on that's not that good. Okay, so we say goodbye to our tug, and we put the taxi light on dim, and we run the timer. Do a bit of control checking, Come back a bit. Alright, all the way back, all the way forward, left, right. Okay, and also we check our brakes and our steering. And weather radar can come on now. 1, 2. And our transponder can go to TARA. Direction will be above. And we're ready to taxi. Let's take the brake off. She's moving. I wouldn't say it's the best looking livery, is it? Alright, let's come back. I'll just check now to see whether Betty's happy with my long trim. I'll just let her come back a fair bit. Okay, let's give it a shot now. Yep, she's happy. So we're going to be doing a flex takeoff, so we've got to hit our flex takeoff button there. Well, Hanoi Airport's looking a bit empty, isn't it? Suppose I should have, although this particular freeway didn't come with static aircraft, so. Yeah, quite a long taxi to the runway. Sometimes she slows down. You've got to push her to get her moving. And if you can hear a bit of a crackly noise in the background, that's my foot pedals. The Thrustmasters, I mean, okay, they do the job, but I wouldn't say they're the best on the market. Tend to be very noisy. I see what you're saying, Black Knight. But Black Knight, don't the Japanese like their colours to be quite sort of mellow, if that's the right word for it? Let's go right to the end. Once she keeps gets up to speed, she's hard to slow down. Hey Chief, welcome to the stream, mate. Been the first. It's been for a first time I've done one for quite a while. All right, let's get our landing lights on now. We can blind somebody. Nose light can come all the way on, and our wing lights and landing lights, they can all come down. So we've set our EPR mode to flex, and the arc switch is off, which I did earlier.
Approaching 1-1 right.
Auto throttle can come on.
On runway 11 right.
And we can toga. Well, that toga should have worked in, but it didn't. But anyway, try that again. Yeah, my toga didn't work. Alright. Got plenty of runway, and we're up to V1, so I can actually rotate. And I'd say we're positive rate. We can put our gear up, come down a bit. These aircraft, they like to rocket up. I still got the front stairs down. I don't know how I managed that. I didn't put them down in the first place, but that looks great, doesn't it? Anyway, let's concentrate on our flying first off. Okay, we're going to do our nav track on. Let's have a look at our vertical speed. I think we'll drop that back a bit. And we'll put our climb button on. And if we look down here, we're following our right there. The VNAV, the nav track will keep us there. We'll keep our vertical speed at 3,000. And at the speed we're up to, we can start bringing up our flaps, and we can go over to VNAV straight away. Why would she be dropping? Oh, she's leveling off now. Okay, let's see if I can get rid of those stairs, eh? Ah, there we go. Retracted in flight. She's not on track for some reason. Oh, hang on, good idea if I put the autopilot on. That'll fix it up. Yeah, and then my
Stabilizer motion.
yes, it'll stabilise, my dear. Now we're evening out. And because this has all gone dark, which it does from time to time, we should be able to lighten it up a bit. Transition height is 9,000 feet. And our art switch can go back to on. I'll have to check out why my toga didn't work then. Now I thought I'd leave the stairs down Black Knight just in case. Yeah, I do prefer actually to use the vertical speed mode on the initial climb out, because it can tend to get away from you. I believe, and I've seen a video, the Danish Air Transport took one of these off from somewhere in Denmark, and they achieved 6,000 feet a minute. Mainly because it was not a lot of fuel and no cargo or passengers. But 6,000 feet a minute, that's really climbing. Okay, we're past our transition altitude, so let's go set our standard for that. I can go down and set our brake selector to off, and that automatically kicks the switch out. Our ignition switch can come back to off. We can retract our speed brakes, and our hydraulic pumps, transfer pumps, can come to off. And what else? Yep. Our nose light off, nose light off, and our landing lights off. Floodlights can come off. I usually like to leave the wing lights on though, so we'll do that. And we can let the passengers get up, and we'll put that on auto. There we go. Simple as that. Silly me, I should have hit that autopilot button very early in the piece, but no problem. I think it should be doing a bit of a left turn here. What's she doing? Where's she going? Something happened here. I'll just have a look at them. So we should be on our way to Bunbo. Let's have a look. Our nav track's on, our VNav's on, so that's okay. It looks like it's starting to line up now. Must have strayed off a bit there before. Pretty hazy sort of atmosphere weather out there today, isn't it? Nothing much to see. I don't know how come I put those goddamn stairs down. Yeah, we're looking like we're getting back on track. Okay, what's our heading to? Bunbo? Bunbo, is it? Yep, 31. We'll keep it on heading track there too. It's always a good idea to do this in case something goes wrong with the VNAV, with the nav track. Yeah, Black Knight. It's whenever you got a chance, if you want to watch it. I think it's DAT, Danish Air Transport, and I believe the CEO is a pilot himself, and he took the controls. But when I saw 6,000 on the vertical speed, I thought, wow. So how come we level off at 15? There must be a restriction, eh? Let's have a look. Yeah, there we go. We got a restriction there of 150 or below, and there's about another 25 nautical miles, so we've got to sit at that. But actually, that's a pretty good indication of how good they did with the FMC on this aircraft. All the flights I've ever had, it's never let me down. So I have top marks to rotate for that one, because that's where a lot of developers are doing coming out with jetliners. They seem to have a bit of a problem. Must admit though, the Zebo 800, the FMC in that is a joy to use, and I think it ranks pretty well close to PMDG, I believe. Okay, now I've got to find out whatever happened to my Abby tab. There's got to be a button to push around here somewhere to bring it back. Thought it was down here somewhere. Where are you? Right. It's not over here. Very, very odd. I would have thought it'd be just down here. That's the first time I've ever done anything silly like that. But yeah, nothing, absolutely nothing. And I don't think, I'm not sure, I can't remember, did they have one on the other side? I'll manage to do with the drop down one from the plugins. Look at all this handle operations, springs and things for opening that window. Quite elaborate. I'm lost now. Looks like we're speeding up now out of our restricted area. Speed's up now to 290 something. So while we're here, I will drop that down. We don't need this anymore. We don't need that anymore. We don't need that anymore. And we'll go to honkers. It's always a very interesting approach coming into Hong Kong. Most of the time it comes in on runway 07 left and right down here. But every now and then you can get a 25 right, which I find is interesting because it brings you right over the CBD and over the old K-Tech. So let's have a look and see if we can pick out what our arrival is going to be. So it's going to be one of these Sierra. That's your RNAVs there. This would be a district there with 6Bs and 7As. Let's have a look. That looks pretty well like what we're going to be going for. We'll be coming into Sierra here, and then we'll be doing this. We'll be doing this turnaround here into Limes, and then we'll be going to 07 right there. So this looks like it's the one. Okay, we go back here. Have a look at our approach. Okay, it's a 07 right, so we've got a Cat 2 ILS 07 right, which we can take. Thanks, Sir Black Knight. What have we got? 220 degrees at 6 knots. That could change things, couldn't it? Really could change things. I'll see what little that map's giving me. Let's have a look. Okay, I should be using Active Sky. I'm a bit lazy. I'm looking at the NOAA station meter. It's 230 degrees at 6 knots. So what have you got? 220 at 6 knots. So we're looking at coming from that. Yeah, this looks like change of wind direction for me, as usual. Always happens to me. So instead of coming in on 07, I'm probably going to have to be coming in on 25 right. Let's have a look. What I might do is bring up Navigraph charts, see what they got to help. So there's where our flight. This is what we'd be normally doing. I'll just get this thing out of the way here. There we go. Move him. This is what we would be expecting from Simbrief, but with a 120 to what was it? 220 degrees. That's roughly from this direction. It looks pretty well like it's going to be a 25 right now. What a shame. Anyway, but we've got to put up with it. Yeah, you're right there, mate. It happens to me every time, I can tell you now. Okay, approach. So it will now be a 25 right. I don't think coming from where I'm coming that they're going to put me on 25 left if there was ATC on. So we'll probably be coming in still from, what do we got? We'll be coming in here, so we're probably going to be going up to a place like Shillong. Let's see what they got to offer. Oh, actually, I don't want that. I want the star. Sorry. Sierra's probably going to be out of the question. Well, that's Hong Kong up there, so this is no good. We've got to really find the right one. So if we're coming to Sierra, we might have to bypass that altogether. This is 25 left and right. So what it's going to do is it's going to take us up to Guava, and it's going to come back around onto 25 right. Now, I've done this one before. That takes us in and over to K-Tech and back around. Alright, let's see what we can do on the FMS. At the moment it's useless to us, so let's try this again. At 25 right. There we go. It's going to be a Sierra, but it's either a 1G or a 6B. I'll have a look on that map. That helps us out a lot. I'll get rid of that star there. Yep, that'll actually work. That takes us to Guava. That one takes us to, oh, that's even better still. 6B. That looks much better. That's the 6D. No, we'll go to the 6B. Okay, I'll enter that in, insert it, 25 right. And we're going to then have our final approach on that's the VOR, that's the ILS. Insert that. Yep, I've flown this one in before. This brings us up to river. Okay, so I said it was the 1G. Execute. Let's have a look. Guava, there we go. River. Beauty. That's what I'm after. Okay, let's go and have a look at this on the plan. Look at all this dirt all over the screen. More of it here. Okay, here's our steps. We'll go back to start at 1. And we start clicking. Oh, I've got to execute that, by the way. There we go. Vapna, Osika. Let's have watch this. Top of descent there, down to Sierra, down to Canto, swing around to Murray, up to VH 530, Goody, Guava, and up to River. Ooh. There's River. Have a look at this. There's the river. And you can see that brings us straight around to line us up to 25 right, which I've done before. Okay, we're done. Happy. And in the meantime, we're still going up to top of climb. Let's have a look and see. We've still got some fuel left in our centre tanks, but it won't be long before they're empty. Not long before top of climb. (20 nautical miles at top of climb). Now we can go back into Avi tab and change a few things around. Okay, so this no longer applies. That's 07 in. This no longer applies either. So we've got to go back to our approaches and see whether we can. So now we're going to we're going to be using 25 right, left, 25. We've got a cat 2, cat, we can do cat 3. Okay. Go. You can see we're coming up to the Tung Lung. That's Tung Lung TD VOR, and up here, this is where the river waypoint is, and into 25. Okay, so while we're at it, let's set up our frequencies. Look at this fly speckle thing. I don't know why it's doing that. One 0.9. Got to be a lighting thing, that. and of course 254. I don't know what that is. Some sort of a lighting thing. See, it does have a lighting thing under here. Well, that one there helps a bit. Very odd. Okay, let's go back here. That's Hong Kong Airport. We leave that up. And we can go back and see if we can find some sort of arrival here. Well, it's still going to be Sierra, but it's going to be one of these others here. And that looks like we've hit on it. We're going to be coming down here, doing a turn to Murray, V8 Victor Hotel there, Goody, Guava, and then it will be the approaching over to River and down that way. So this will give us an indication we're on track when we come in for our arrival. 25 right means down this way, and it'll be exit the runway on either Alpha 6 or Alpha 5. Okay, go out of the way. Now we've reached our altitude, or close to it. That was the 1,000 below warning. Yeah, that speckly effects over everything. Must be something to do with graphics, maybe. There we are. She's backing off now. Oh, now see that lighting just came back on. I can never figure that. It's something to do with the X-plane for sure. And the weather hasn't changed out there. I can turn this off now. Okay, one quick look. Let's have a look at progress now. Top of descent 300, so we've got a fair way to go. So this is going to be a golden opportunity for me to go out and get some refreshments. I know that by the time I get back, that centre fuel tank will be probably empty, and there'll be something on the Enunciator up here to tell me so. The other thing we can do now that we've leveled off is we can hit the cruise button here, and our transponder comes on to normal rather than above, and that's it. So I'll just go and get myself a snack. I'll have to turn the mic off though, so you don't hear all the background rubbish going on. Wow. G'day XP. Thanks for dropping in. Just got myself a morning snack. Nothing quite as elaborate as a certain person we know gets served when they're streaming. Well, nothing sort of like a big, huge plate of, you name it, you seem to get it. It's just a cookie and a cup of tea. Although Black Knight knows we don't call them cookies. We're biscuits. And of course I missed your stream this morning, didn't I? I was still sleeping. Gee. I just got a notice OBS disconnected and reconnected. G'day Coke Cutter, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Look at the weather there, look, pretty good, isn't it? Let's have a look. Man, must be nearly through that Santa tank. Yep, we'll get the annunciator message in a minute. -18 outside. No clouds around. I'm not going to worry about anti-ice at the moment. But this is where you normally do it. It's just down here. There's your engine, your left and right engine anti-ice. And the airfoil, I believe. I still can't find my Avi tab here. I don't know what I did. Hello, here we go. Got it. It was here. So there you go, Black Knight. It does come with it. Let's have a look at the some maps. It takes a long time, doesn't it, to fill in. We're actually flying over China. So I suppose some of you guys out there know exactly what those translations are. I don't. Best place I suppose to look is here. Let's have a look. Where are we? Where are we? I don't use this all that often, so I'm a little bit not quite sure how to bring it up. Window mode, overlay on map. Oh. Show overview. Ah, now we got it. So here we are. We're just about halfway there. Well, it looks like I might be landing into the evening. We might get a night approach over Hong Kong. A quick look at our annunciator and I think it'll say, yep, we're going to turn them off. Wow. 203 nautical miles, the top of descent. And now that this is back up, I can have a look and just see what our initial approach IAF is. 4,500. I suppose they've got to do that because they're coming in over the city, or part of the city. Seems a bit high, doesn't it? 4,500. So XP, no doubt we're going to be seeing you fly this aircraft a little bit more often now that you're expert. And Chief, I suppose you're going to get up in it one day, right? Definitely looks like we're going to have a night flight into Hong Kong. And I tell you what, XB, you're going to have to fly a little bit more often over in Asia, in places like that. Japan again, got to get you up over to this area. There's so many nice routes to fly. I'm not fussed on flying over China that much though. I tend to sort of keep away from it. But you know, Philippines, Japan, even South Korea, down to Indonesia. There's quite a number of really good routes to fly. Of course, you can always come back to Australia. And I swear one day I'm going to get you to fly out of Cairns so that you can do the Cairns one sit out and not hit the mountain on the way out. Well, Alicia did the approach the other day to runway 33, which very rarely happens because the wind usually probably about nearly 90% of the time comes from the south. Looks like I've got to turn some light backs on again. Trouble is though, XP, there's not a lot of ATC on a lot of these places. It's not too often that you see anybody at all on in Japan. China, yeah, sometimes around the Philippines, down at Malaysia of course, but for some reason I don't think there's too many guys up there who want to become VATSIM ATC guys. Let's have a look and see how we're going here. 163, top of descent. Well, oh, that is the land down there, so yeah, just reading what you said there, Black Knight. Yep, a DC-9 would have been a good thing to have as well. I mean, someone has done the 727 and the B200, haven't they? And we've got the B300 from IXCG. But yeah, it would have been good to see someone do a DC9, because basically this is a DC9 modified, isn't it? Stretched, different engines. Fly Guy, thanks for joining. Fly Guy's in the house. I'll have a quick look in the cabin, I don't usually, I kind of remember how to do this. Oh, they blocked me out. Been a long time. I don't think I've got to unlock it, have I? It's here, the cockpit door. Come on, open up. Nope, it doesn't want to. They locked me in. Used to know how to do this. Swing it. Oh well. Well, if you want to know anything about the MD-80 Fly Guy, you should talk to XP72. He can give you a fair appraisal of what it's like to fly. And Orlando, if you watch some of his streams, he was in it the other day. He flew it the other day for his virtual airline. So there's quite a few guys around who do fly it. I think Dimitri does. I know Alaska, he does from time to time. Hello Doug, thanks for joining the stream. I must admit that flying this aircraft at night can be a bit difficult, as XP72 found out, because sometimes you can't, while you've got all your tags, you can't always find the actual switch or the button to flick. It can become something, and it seems like it should have a light to brighten up the panel itself without just the back, all those little lights there at the back. You can brighten up this, but I've already done it. But again, it's hard to find it, and there's a couple of little buttons under here, knobs. The first one on the right, for some reason, it does work. It just lights numbers up, and this one here actually lights up all the tags. Could use one nice big overhead light, but it just doesn't have it. There's nothing down here. Oh, there's floor lights, but I don't think that's gonna. See, it's not gonna do much. I know the pedestal does have its own lighting here somewhere. Here we go. It looks like it's already, yep, it's already up to maximum. Looks good at night though, doesn't it? Let's see how we're going here. Yeah, Doug, everybody who flies the plane, whether, I don't know about pilots, but simmers, after you've been flying the likes of, the Zebo and the PMDG and all those, and everything in the upper panel has a proper flow about it. For some reason or other, whoever, McDonnell Douglas, who designed the overhead panel, the comment is that it was just like they threw a plate of spaghetti at it, because nothing does follow. Well, not entirely correct. It does follow a bit of a flow, but it does feel all over the place. For example, you've got your IRSs over here. You've got your all your APU and stuff. That's not so bad. Your APUs and your fuels, your fuel tanks and engines are down here, but some of these things over the other side tend to get people a little bit bamboozled. I do like the panel though, the flight panel. I think it's good because one thing it does do, it gives you you can actually put your approaches, your ILS approaches and course in here. You don't have to go down and put it down below. So there's a lot of things on here I do like. It does say that it's got auto land, but in fact it doesn't work. In real life it did. I do like this, I suppose you could call it type of an annunciator panel as well. It tells you that your aircraft is on LNAV, or in this case they just call it's called nav track. Same thing, and that's it there, nav track. Then you've got your LNAV and your FMS speeds that will come in here. So there's lots of things about it I do like, and I'm quite used to it. There's the procedures can get a little complicated because you've got things like the hydraulic pumps hidden over here in the most inaccessible places you could imagine, and also down here you've got these cross flow valves down here for when you start up and take off. You like the red on the MCP, yeah. Little quirks too. For example, it's just a minor thing, but what actually happens with the MD is you don't have to turn your strobes on. You actually set the position strobe lights down, and what happens is the strobes only come on when the aircraft lifts off the ground. It's all like a semi-automatic operation. The other thing, which a lot of people don't quite understand, is how to flex. You do your flexing in the FMC using this assumed temperature slider here, and you just move that around, it'll place in whatever flex temperature you want to run at. And the other thing that, again, a lot of people haven't sort of quite know how it works is called the ART. The ART basically is automatic always get this right, automatic reserve thrust. And the whole theory of it is that when it's switched on, you only have it on if you're not flexing. And the whole theory of how it works is it's got some sort of sensor built into the engines, so that if you're tearing down the runway ready to lift off, and one of the engines suddenly decides it's not up to full power, then the ART will automatically get the other engine to speed up to compensate for any slight loss. It would only be for a slight loss of power, and not a total engine out, because you'd be taking over manually. But then what happens is when the aircraft then lifts off the ground, the ART switches off automatically. Now, if you want to use flex, then you have to turn the ART off, because you are basically telling the aircraft to do something different to what it would automatically do if the ART was on. I've never sort of been in a situation that I know of that, because when you're taking off, you're too busy, waiting for V1 to come up. So I don't know whether it actually is modelled in this aircraft. Now we're getting close. How much are we going for time? Top of descent 71. And it's dark as blazes out there, isn't it? The lights of China. Yeah, that's a strange picture, isn't it? Let's have it. Take that. This little panel here too is something you always got to keep in mind. This one here, I think it's called EPR panel. If you want to use flex, if you don't want to use flex, you just hit the takeoff button as you're lining up, or you hit flex if you're the takeoff flex if you are. That's a go around button. That's a climb. I'm not quite sure MCT is. And this is your cruise button, which is on. What is that shade of light? You mean outside? That's must be the moon, maybe, eh? We've got a moon up there. Very unusual. Though it could be part of the sunset. Yeah, just getting back to this little panel, one thing to remember is that as the aircraft is descending, you've got to hit the climb button. Now it seems a little bit crazy, but I think what it meant is that they only had 6 spots for buttons. They couldn't put another one in alongside of it by itself, so they decided to make it double up and use the climb button. Very strange, but have to remember what our initial approach fix is going to be, 4500. We'll definitely be coming in over Hong Kong Harbour up here. That's quite an approach actually. And of course the old Hong Kong K-Tech used to be around here somewhere. But the approach to that, of course, was you had to come in over these islands here and look for the checkerboard and do a right-hand turn. And those of us fortunate enough and old enough, we were able to fly into there quite a few times over the years. And definitely one of the most exciting approaches you could ever do into an airport. Look outside the window as you're coming down, and you're actually lower than the top floors of a lot of apartments. And you could look in the window very briefly and see them having dinner. So we're in for a right-hand turn now. The heading's going to jump to, what's it, BAU. I'll go back to the legs for that. 165. Touch the wrong one. This is what happens when it's dark. See, you can't see the buttons themselves enough for the knobs. So that is for the heading here. There we go. And I forgot what I said it should be. 165. Right. Yeah, now we're getting close to our approach. Top of descent's very close by. Another just 20. So I'm going to set our altitude. Let's double check. I know it's 4,500, but I always like to double check. So let's drop it down there to the knob's there. So you can't see the knob. You got to pull this across to get it right. There we go. And Doug, another thing I like about this aircraft, it's got what they call is a Fms Override, which basically allows you to, even though the aircraft will stay on course and it will follow the nav track and will also follow the descent, it just gives you the opportunity to play around with the speed. And of course, it's very forgiving when it comes to flaps. If you look here, these are the limits on the speed. Now, what other aircraft do you know where technically you could drop the gear at just below 300 knots? I mean, I can't think of another aircraft. So with your slats as well, you can put your first and second slats out, 240. You can put flaps 11 down at 280, which is just amazing. The other thing too is you got to remember is that the speed brake, if you decide to use the speed brake at any time, you can, but you can only use it while later, as you're coming in and slowing down, If you decide to put your slats down, you can still use a speed brake, but anything after that, flaps down to 11, you cannot use the speed brake. You're not supposed to use the speed brake. And the other thing that keep in mind also is that you can't arm the auto brake system until your flaps are down to what you set. And then you go down here, of course, and you set the to what pulling up. It can be the landing rate, it's medium, and then you've got a switch above it here that you have to flick. But if your flaps aren't down to 28, say for example, that switch won't activate. So you have to keep all these things in mind. And we're just about ready to drop. Our throttle should come down any second now. And there we go. That's my phantom throttles there. And here we go, we're dropping down. Vertical speed 2,200, that's pretty good. And look at that out there, you can't see a thing. Oh my god. Let's see if we're getting picked up on our there we go, and we're coming in on course to Sierra. Almost want to say Sierra. So really we should start to see the sea over to our left. Maybe still a bit too far out. Yep. That's probably it over there somewhere. So this is going to be a pretty well much instrument approach most of the way until we actually line up on finals. So obviously it's a good exercise to do night flying using instruments. No point looking outside, nothing to see. Yeah, Black Knight, it's not that good though, is it? See that? It's not crash hot, red. You can just barely make out some things with it. I think they could have done a bit better. And then the night vision as well. How about that? Oh, you could use that, I suppose. At least you could see everything clear as a bell there, can't you? That's pretty good. I just had to take a message there. Yeah, so night vision goggles, they work okay. Coming down nicely. So we'll go to Sierra, then we're going to go to Murray and do the left-hand turn. That will then take us further up, and then we go over to River over here. It should be. It doesn't show it up so well on this, but we'll leave it on 10 nautical miles. Very dark out there, isn't it? Boy, oh boy. So it must be coming out close now to Sierra. I'll call it Sierra. Yep. ETA is 11:41. Oh, that's okay. That's to Sierra. Yeah, it should. Yeah. I sometimes, what I have a lot of problems with sometimes is the RNAV approaches. It just doesn't seem to, sometimes it doesn't seem to capture the glide path or stay on the glide path. So you can see here VNAV's on descent. We're following nav track, and that's our altitude we've set as our IAF. Now we've got to watch our speed and to keep an eye on it. So we're pretty right for 280 all the way to Murray, and then to the VH530, Victor Hotel 530. We're wanting to be down to 240, and you'll probably see that it will maintain that 240 speed all the way down until it gets very close to the river. Now, if you find that's too fast, you'd like to come down to the 180 a lot earlier, say at Guava. That's when you can do the FMS override, and you can put in your own speed then. And I find that I do that very often because it just makes the aircraft a little bit more controllable. So we can leave it run at 280. It can slow down very quickly. Okay, now we should start to see something outside, but that's probably going to be wrong again. Wow, we really picked the darkest of nights. So we're doing our turn now to Murray and up to Guava. Keep an eye on our speed. And this is when things get busy, guys. So just one thing I got to do is have a look and see what our QNH is for Hong Kong at the moment. Going by NOAA, it's 1009. Oh, same as before. And I'm just going to check the transition height. It's 9,000 for Hong Kong. So that was the same as Hanoi. 280 still, yep. Now the only thing is, I should be setting the, what's 1009? Just going to cheat here a little bit. $29.80. I've got to do something here. $29.80 is our. That's our landing barometer for our passengers, apparently. Landing height, I'm going to leave it here because I'm pretty certain Hong Kong's almost like sea level. I'll just check it. Yeah, it's 24 feet. I mean, I think that's in hundreds, isn't it? No, we'll make it 24. Okay. Okay, so now I may as well set it now. Let's go and set it to 1009. And EPR mode should have been in climb. I should have taken it out of cruise, but it's in climb. It changes the EPR limits on the engine. Transponder direction has got to go to below now. Okay. Seatbelt sign can go off on. Uh, 10,000 feet, and we can put on our landing lights. Coming back over here. Ignition switches to on both. We put our hydraulic transfer pumps back on, and we're getting that's pretty good. Doug, yeah, oh yeah, I can tell you now. Flight simulators, oh my gosh. I go right back to a lot of the combat aircraft ones. There's so many of them, I've forgotten them. But for a long time, I basically concentrated on combat aircraft. There were these games out called Jane's All the World's Aircraft, and you could get different. You had to buy different games, USAF, F-15, all those different aircraft, and then of course. There was one called Falcon F4. There were so many of them. G'day James, how are you? Thanks for joining the stream. You're just in time for a fantastic landing. Well, I hope it would be. I hope it's going to be. I haven't been having a lot of luck lately with some of my landings. It's funny, isn't it? You just get these periods where you can just don't go wrong, and then all of a sudden, one after the other. Yeah, and Doug, what actually happened is with, in fact, my hands-on throttle system was, I bought it for combat aircraft, and this is my second one, Satex X52. And then I don't know, maybe I just wanted something a bit different, and then someone put me on to Microsoft Flight Sim, this type of aircraft. I know Microsoft used to have a lot of combat games as well, but I decided to try this. Okay, 240, there we go. It's sitting nicely on 240. Code Cutter, how are you? Thanks for joining. We got our green banana there, of course, which I always like to have on an aircraft. It basically says, yep, we're going to be at 4,500 there. What I also like to do is, seeing we're so close and we're going to have a course of 254 to land, I'm going to put the heading on 245. Oh, not that one. Like you say, when you can't see them in the dark. Why is it doing that? It's playing up on me there. That should be working. Oh, it's only flicking the bank angle for some reason. Oh. I'm not going to worry about it. I prefer to have it. Okay, here we go. Coming down 240, we're going to be heading to 180. Now we can help a little bit. Just put our air brakes out. You're going to be levelling off actually pretty soon already. So we don't need this anymore. So I'll just arm it. Now let's have a look outside and see what we can see. Can't see anything. Nothing below. Boy, is it dark. And we should be coming in over the city. We'll be making the turn. What have we got speed-wise? I want to jump up to 300. No, it is the 180. We can take our first lot of flaps. Sorry, that's our slats out and our flaps. We should be able to come down to 5. Down to 11 already.
Altitude. Altitude.
Yep, I know.
Altitude. Altitude. Altitude.
That means I should be putting my gear down.
Altitude. Altitude.
That's okay, Betty.
Altitude. Altitude. Altitude.
Put the gear down, that'll stop it.
Altitude. Altitude.
There we go. That's just a warning that she's saying, yeah, oh, there's Hong Kong. That's just a warning to say you haven't, you put your flaps down, but you should be putting your gear down as well. So here's our speed at 180 and we'll be ready for the turn. Doug, you're excited. I'm scared. I haven't done Hong Kong overnight for a long time, so yeah, it's fingers crossed. So we're doing our turn to finals in a minute. There's the river waypoint. And this is where I can actually, if I want to, and I probably will, I'll override. And we can put our nose light on to bright. We've armed our speed brakes. Like I say, in this aircraft you don't really have to use the speed brake a lot because of the fact you can drop your flaps. I should have quickly, by the way, I should have had a look at my initial reference. I like to do the 28 at 135, and that's what I'm going to be using. Now we're going to do our turn. We should start to see something in front. We're above the glide path by the look of it here. And what I might do to capture it is do our vertical speed. We'll take down our altitude a little bit. And I'm going to do a Fms Override. We're going to drop our speed down to 165. And I'm above the glide path, which is not good. So it looks like it's probably going to be a visual. Let's take our speed right down to about 155 and 50. I would say I'm probably going to have to do a hands-on. I've missed the see that, although I'm pretty close, I might be able to capture it. Let's hit the ILS and see what happens. Oh yes, it's got the guide path. Well, that's guide slope. Good. Okay, what are we down for our flap setting? We go all the way down to flap 28, which means then I can arm the auto brake. Oh no, it didn't like that. Let's have a look. We were 15, 28, it'll probably go down. Okay, here we go. Try it again. There we go. So that's set our auto brake. We're all set. James, I tell you what, I like the IXCG 300, pretty close to the Zebo. If we're talking airliners, yep. But if we're talking turboprops, commuter aircraft, definitely the Saab 340 from LES, Leading Edge Simulators. I love that aircraft. Well, lined up nicely. Let's hope I don't botch this. Yeah, Doug, it can look very dark at night. It's a real challenge if you can do these night flights, particularly if it's extra dark outside. Yeah, luckily I got the glide slope this time. I think a few flights ago I just didn't seem to be able to capture it. So we're going to coming up on 1,000. And we'll probably take it over from there, roughly. Be nice if this thing could do an auto land at night. It would make life easier, wouldn't it? One thing I should have done, and I didn't do, was set the
1,000
decision height. Okay, let's take the auto throttle off and there you go.
Autopilot.
But it's a Cat 3, so it would have been...
Approaching 25 right.
It would have been pretty well only a few feet off the ground.
Minimums.
Oh, there's a minimum, so probably because it was a Cat 3.
400. 300.
Coming over.
200.
That's better.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Down you go. Well, I can't say that was too bad. I've got the reverse thrust on. You probably wouldn't see it if I go outside, so we'll roll off here. Reverse thrust off. That wasn't too bad for a night landing, was it, eh? Yeah. Come on now, you should move. Why won't you move? Yeah, there we go. I absolutely can't remember my way around Hong Kong. Thanks, Chief and Doug, for that. I've just got to find out where the hell I am at night time. Let's have a look and see where we are. Have any idea where we are? Okay, there we are. And I'm not quite sure where all the parking is on this one, so just bear with me a minute. I'll have a look at a little nav map. That'll give me a better idea. Yeah, it's pretty back the other way, so okay. We can, we should be able to do a turn here. Get on to Bravo.
Spot lab.
Yes, I know.
Boiler.
Flaps have got to come up. Flaps have got to come up.
Stabilizer.
Yeah, spoiler up too. Betty will always let you know in no uncertain terms. Oh, Alan. G'day, Alan. Thanks, mate. Been a fairly long flight. I think I should have turned off here somewhere, so just bear with me and I'll... No. Where the devil is it? Hope I'm on the taxi road. Yeah. Would be nice to have some good lighting here, wouldn't it? Where the devil are we? Have a look outside. It might be. Oh, here we go. I know. I got my lights on. I don't want to turn on my... I'll turn on my... there we go. I'm going to get in trouble for doing this, though, aren't I?
Lab.
Okay.
Spot lab. Lab. Stabilizer. Spot lab. Lab.
She doesn't like it when you increase your throttles too much. You know what, guys, I'm well and truly lost. Hong Kong's such a big airport.
Chris, go and rest up now, you're tired, okay? Rest up now. How much longer rest?
Hang on. Alan, sorry mate, I'm running late already. I'm supposed to be going off for a shopping expedition. What I might do though, to make this a little bit short, I'm going to just change my time of day. I am totally and utterly lost. I shouldn't be anywhere near this, but I'll tell you what, I'm not going to worry about a gate. I'm just going to pull into one of these spots. Now I can see what I'm doing. Jeez. I never knew that, mate. So you on the taxi, and you always taxi with flaps 11, eh? Because of foreign object. Okay. After you reach the gate, you put the flaps back up. Good man. Thanks for that. A bit of information. This will do us. I know it's not exactly the right spot to be pulling up, but what I'll do, of course, is we'll just get the APU going. And I'll turn off some of these lights and stuff. Yeah, unfortunately, I really had no idea where I was going. And I think that's that APU's up. While we're doing that, I'll just have a quick look outside. And we'll try and do a replay, but it's just going to show the dark anyway, so we'll give it a shot, eh? Probably won't see much because of that night time business. I can't even see where am I? Here we go. Yeah, you just don't see much at night. You think Banknote, you think I caught the approach lights? I don't think I was that low. Well, that looks good, doesn't it? There we go. Tell me if I did here. At least I got my nose up angle just spot on. There we go. I thrust, my reverse thrust didn't work. Don't know why. Yeah, you can't tell much from that, can you? See what happens here. Doug wasn't butter, but it was okay. She's not the easiest to land. One thing you've got to remember, you've got to keep the power on pretty well almost right down to the deck, about 20 feet off. Because if you cut back on the power too soon, it drops like a rock. Real world pilots used to say nothing under 140 knots. Okay, there we go. I'll just start the engines, shall I? And there we go. That'll do it for me. I'm more than happy with that. It was a good flight. So time to wrap things up. So I'll say thanks to all the guys who came in for a while. First off, Donut, Black Knight, you came through the whole flight. Chief Sim Pilot. Who else have we got here? XB72, of course. Cold Cutter 67. Fly Guy. Doug. Still strolling. James Barr. Still going. Alan, of course, Alan A. Gee, Alan, you and I just don't seem to score with time zones, mate, unfortunately. We'll get there. Don't give up. So again, guys, don't go to Bunnings. Bunnings. Actually, yeah, tomorrow I have to go to Bunnings. Yeah, so thanks to everybody again, and until the next time, see ya.